Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first Biz by Sell BrokerWorks Optimizing Your Online Marketing webinar for the year. Welcome, everybody, wherever you might be joining us from. It's currently 10 o'clock here on the West Coast, 1 o'clock back east. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to share with you what we have today about what's new with BrokerWorks and some insights to the product that you may not be familiar with that you could use to better market your listings online to our buyers. We expect the webinar to last about 30 minutes. There's an ability for you to submit questions. We'll get to them as we can, if we can. If we don't get to them during the webinar, we absolutely will get to them individually afterwards with you. There is a survey at the end of the webinar. We do ask that you take the time and answer it. There's only 5 questions, so it should take about 20 seconds to do, and we really appreciate your feedback and value your thoughts on what we've done so that we can do this better for those in the future. And finally, a recording of this webinar will be made available. It'll probably be tomorrow morning instead of this afternoon, just from time and bandwidth, as everybody understands. Joining us today are Jason Tom and Madeline Lynn, who are both on the sales team. You guys might be familiar with one or both of them if you don't know either of them. Looking forward to introducing you to them. They're going to run you through this deck, and if there's anything we can do for you guys, let us know. But otherwise, I'll turn it over to them. Good morning, Maddie and Jason.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, excuse me, for joining us this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Madeline Lynn, and I'm joined by Jason. Jason.
Hi, nice to meet everyone via Zoom. Hopefully we take just a small period of time out of your day and make you a little bit more educated on how to use the tools that you're paying for and help you guys get some more things in contract and make some money.
Definitely. And again, just to reiterate, this is going to be recorded and sent to you all. So if you miss something along the way, don't worry about it. You can go back and listen again. We'll try to keep it, just around 30 minutes, not to take too much time out of your day. And it's good to see some familiar names over in the attendees list. So let's get started. Okay. So today we're going to be going over your BrokerWorks membership and how to optimize your online marketing. Perfect. Again, my name is Madeline. I'm an account manager. I've worked with a few of you here today, but I've been with the company for over 2 years now, and I really am focused on helping brokers strengthen their online presence, get the BrokerWorks account up to speed, and make sure that you are getting the most out of what you're paying for.
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, I've been with parts of the CoStar group, whether it's with CoStar, LoopNet, and I've been with Biz by Sell for the last 4.5 years. I'm going to really focus my time on really helping you guys carve out the right types of listings to make sure that those listings that you're spending time and energy putting onto the site translate into phone calls and emails. And that's what we're going to focus on the back end of this webinar.
Perfect. Yeah. And again, if you have questions throughout, there is a Q&A bar on your toolbar. Please type those in and we will get to them about halfway through. And then if not, at the end, or I'll reach out to you individually after the webinar. Okay, so we'll do a quick overview of Biz by Sell. I'm going to talk about your BrokerWorks, or excuse me, your broker profile, how to attract seller leads and new clients. And like Jason said, he's going to dive into the listings. Okay, so getting started. If you're with us today, excuse me, you're either a new member, you've just signed up, or you've been with us for some time and maybe need a refresher on what can I do to get more out of this service, right? So it's important to understand that your membership comes with a profile and then the listings. So profile separate, this is what we're gonna take a look at first. And on the screen here, I am running a search as if I'm a seller looking for a broker. And it's important to understand how they find you in our broker directory. Running a search by state and county, that'll bring up all brokers that are available. And the 3 levels of membership, Elite, Premium, and Basic, are ordered as you see here on the site, with Elites being at the top, Premiums in the middle, and then Basic accounts at the bottom. So important to understand where you stack up kind of in the grand scheme of things. So think about which profile level you're at currently. You fall into one of these 3 categories, and you can always bump up, bump down as you need with added exposure for this seller side of things. So don't fret though, across the board, whichever level of membership you're in, you receive some great features, right? First being your profile and your listings are advertised on our network. That includes Biz by Sell, but it also includes our partner site, BizQuest. LoopNet now is displaying all of your business for sale listings, but we also have an extensive media partnership with websites like the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and about 80 additional websites and newspapers that we're publishing your listings to. So tons of exposure for you throughout the World Wide Web. Another thing that you receive across the board are detailed listing metrics and tracking tools. So that's on your listings, but it's also on your profile. How many times are you coming up in a search? What do those click rates look like? And all levels of membership receive that. Also, everyone has access to our for sale and sold comp reports. So that's a great tool to utilize for valuation of businesses. And again, Basic, Premium, and Elite can all access that database. But where Elite and Premium profiles really stand out, as you saw on the previous slide, is positioning. So Elites will always come up on page number 1, depending on if you're in a huge market, page number 2, but they cycle through. So not one person is always at the very top of the Elite or Premium. They kind of are on a carousel. And placement for the profiles, and as well as county exposure. So Elite profiles will come up in 10 different county searches. So depending on where I'm looking as a seller, you're going to come up in more of those searches in my area. Premiums will have 5 counties that they can put in there, compared to a basic account, which is going to have the 1 county, again, towards the bottom of the search results. Elite accounts also come up on high traffic pages. So if you haven't been on the website in a while, as you're searching through just listings, I'm running a restaurant search in California, you'll see highlighted brokers on the side and banner ads, and throughout just the listing search. It'll be kind of a spotlight on those top Elite profiles as well. So all of that is driving more clicks to that profile and more exposure to you as a broker that, hopefully I will then list my business with you. So let's just say you're in that positioning, how do we then get you to pull in as many seller leads as you can and have that profile strength up to 100%. So on your end now, this is what you'll see when you sign into your BrokerWorks account. This is what we call your dashboard. And as you get started and you start to put information in here, you'll see live stats across the board in the blue boxes. So you can see active listings, ad displays, but also your broker profile displays. And Randy here, this example that I'm showing on the screen, is an Elite member, again, which means he has the 10 counties he's coming up in. So his displays are huge. He comes up in a ton of searches, which is always an opportunity then to pull in that new business, that seller lead. Profile strength towards the bottom right-hand corner here, you really want to focus on that. Again, no matter what level of membership you have, make sure it's at 100%. Do the most you can with what you've got, depending on where you stack up. His profile is at 100%, and I'm going to show you how we get there. Okay, so if you're trying to follow along, on the left-hand side menu, there's a tab, My Account. You'll click there, and you'll click into My Profile, and you'll be brought to a screen that looks like this. At the very top is this Areas Served box, and this is the most important step. So if you can accomplish one thing today on your profile, fill out this part. This is where your profile will then come up in the searches, these counties that I keep talking about. You get to decide where you're showing up. So on this particular screen here in this example, you'll see 5 counties visible. So this would be a premium account. You get to select which counties in California you'd like to represent. California is a license required state, so that would go on the right-hand column. If you're not in a license required state, you don't have to put that there. But if you have a license, just include it anyway. It builds more credibility, right? So once you have that done, what are the next boxes or criteria that you need to fill out? Again, all of this is found on that My Profile tab. And the screen grab you're seeing here is what it all looks like when it's put together. So as a searcher on BizBuySell, this is what I'll see, the final product. On your end, it's just going to look like empty boxes that you need to fill out, about section, services offered, affiliations, links, things like that. And again, the higher up you are as a premium or an elite member, more of those boxes are open to you to fill out. But with all that being said, here are some key pieces that you definitely need in your profile. First, a photo. Make sure you have a professional headshot. The question we have here is, would you contact a professional without one? The answer is no. From our data and what we see on the back end, if you don't have a photo, you're probably not going to get any seller leads. So make sure that's in there. The second red box on the right, the broker license number, again, include it if you have it. If it's required, you have to put it in there to just, again, building credibility. As I'm checking you out, I know you're licensed and you're a professional. And also include your company logo, your website URL. This is another checkpoint where I can then click into your website, again, check you out on another source, another site, and really take your time with your about sections, your intro and your background. I'm sure most of you have something already put together either on your personal website or your LinkedIn. So feel free to copy and paste that right over. And the third or fourth box in red, you'll see memberships and certifications. That's something I'll touch on a little later, but if you are a member of IBBA or a state group, M&A source, make sure you're connecting those. We give you the tools to do so, and looks great. First of all, you get the cute little logo on your profile, but it also will help you when someone's searching more specifically for someone included in these types of groups, which they can do. And I'll show you a little bit later how you add those on your profile. Okay, so why are we doing all of this, right? I think, or I know from having met with clients, that sometimes this profile gets overlooked. You're really focused on your listings, of course, but this is included in your membership dues, right? You do have a profile that you can fill out, and why not just set it up, let it work, and watch the seller leads roll in, right? So this is your opportunity to make a strong first impression, to really stand out. There's tons of competition, so you need to find a way to set yourself apart. I always recommend, if you have a specialty, if you focus on a particular type of business, or you have a laundry list of all the different types of businesses you've worked on, just to show your versatility, add that in there. Again, highlight your memberships and give the clients a reason to reach out to you. Okay, so I keep bringing up the groups like the IBBA and so on. Definitely connect these. If you're a paying member, you work hard to be in these groups. So let's show them off. If you are, again, trying to follow along on the left-hand menu, networking tools, and then listing distribution, you'll find this screen that you see here. And let's say you're not a member of those groups. We have LinkedIn, which is an account you can connect. I'd say that's the most popular. You see it's the first one there. How you connect these groups, over on the right-hand side, you'll click the plus sign. It'll ask you to log into your LinkedIn account. Once you do so, it'll have a little check mark, and then those accounts are connected. LinkedIn, how it works, if you add a listing onto your BrokerWorks account, it's going to automatically feed over to your LinkedIn news feed as a post. Excuse me, and it'll say, check out my new listing on BizBuySell. It'll have your listing title, and if someone clicks into it, they'll be brought back to the BizBuySell site to check out the ad. So definitely do that one. Again, M&A, Source, IBBA are the next most popular connections there. And you do receive more leads by being a member of those groups for the reason I brought up earlier. An advanced searcher can look for brokers specifically that are a part of those groups. So connect them if you can. Again, there's also state sites. You can see we're in California, so CAB is the one I know best. If you are a member of those state sites, please connect them. Okay, so why is a great profile essential to winning clients? So let's just say you have all of it done. Randy's been the example I'm showing. 100% complete profile. It's going to help a ton with SEO, so search engine optimization for you specifically. I'm Googling Randy's name. Let's say he was referred over to me. Hey, you should look up this broker. I think he could really help you with your business. I'm going to go to Google right away. That's what we do these days. I'm type in Randy's name. Obviously, his website should come up first, LinkedIn, this other advisory network he's a part of. But that last entry there is his Biz by Sell profile. So again, it's just another credible source to build trust in someone searching for you, and different sites I can then vet Randy on and then give him a call to list my business. So that works in, if I know you specifically, it's going to work for you. Let's say I don't know you specifically, and I am just running a more general search. I'm in San Francisco. I'm searching for a broker there. I'm still going to go to Google. I'm going to type in something like San Francisco business brokers. And if you have a 100% complete profile and you're listed in our directory, that first link that comes up is Biz by Sell. I'm going to click right into that. It's going to bring me to the directory. And again, you can see how it pays off to maybe be that elite level or the premium level, because you're showing up on page number 1, page number 2. And typically that's when people are stopping after page 2 when they're searching for these brokers. So working for you in both ways, whether I know you specifically or if I'm doing a more general search, this profile is going to come up for sellers looking for a broker. Okay, so again, when you have some time today, make sure you jump in and fill out those counties. Add your groups and affiliations. Make sure that you're really taking your time on these profiles. And if you have any questions or want to talk to me about what you should do or how to strategize, I'll have my contact information at the end. Be more than happy to set up a meeting with you. And I am going to turn it over to Jason. Thank you.
Thanks, Maddie. Awesome job. Yeah, to piggyback on the SEO piece is, that's what Biz by Sell over the last 25 years has really just been building and investing into our own company to make sure that we are your marketing arm at the end of the day, and that the 3 million visits that we get on a monthly basis, like, you're not missed. No matter where you are in the United States, you are going to be found if you are kind of just following the best practices of getting your profile set up. And that it goes not only for your profile and the counties that you're being displayed in, but it also goes for your listing. So, those keywords, whether it's business broker, your name, or like term searches like buy a business or laundromat in San Francisco, those are things that we pay for to make sure that it's not missed and that people are constantly being driven to the Biz by Sell website. So we do get 15 times more visits than our next competitor. So, thank you for investing in the Biz by Sell platform with BrokerWorks. You are in the right place for marketing online. And, year over year, things keep to shifting, more to being online. And it's not even just being on your computer. It's even being done from tablets as well as cell phones. So, apply these tricks, and let's work on right now. I'm going to go over just some basics on listings. So 1 second, I'm going to make sure that this is. Okay, I have a little bit of delay on getting to the next screen. 1 second. Hey, Brendan, if you're there, do you want to take back control? Oh, let's see. Okay, here we go. So the six features that make a strong listing. There's a lot of ways to look at a listing on what works. And we spend a lot of time, there's a lot of people who have specific jobs that really look at what drives clicks, views, and leads to listings. And what we've learned over this period of time, it's really the completeness of the listing. Like, are you including the location of where the business is at? Is it complete with financial details? Is it written in a proper way? And are you using a photo that portrays the business that you're trying to get exposure to? Bullets 5 and 6 are a little bit more subjective at the lister or whoever's listing the business's case, but we have options in terms of getting more exposure. But the top 4 points are really what we want you guys to have as a baseline every time you're adding in a listing, whether it's you, your marketing coordinator, the admin, whoever's controlling the listing. This is the driving points that are going to create clicks. Okay. So as we'll come back to that, but it's important to understand, as much as we want to drive clicks, we need to understand the behavior on the other side. How are people coming on to Biz Buy Sell, and how are they searching? So Google is the #1 way people are coming on to our website. That's been the case for a long period of time. But once they get to Biz Buy Sell and they start searching, what we know is category, location, and price point are the standard fields a searcher will use every single time while running a search for a business. So knowing that, we see a lot of different brokers and agents coming up with their own strategy, or they have a different relationship or unique experience with their seller that says, oh, I can't disclose price. They don't want the county included, and they'll just keep the category. There's all these different variables that you guys face on a day-to-day basis. And we understand that. However, from an internet perspective and the way people search, if you do not include those points, your listing will not show up, meaning no clicks, no views, no phone calls, no emails. So with that being said, set expectations with your seller. Make sure they understand it's like, we got to have a price range. We got to include the county, the state, as well as the category in order for visibility, because that's the whole point of a marketplace, is visibility. If you're trying to create your own rules, you're going to eliminate visibility, and that defeats the purpose of trying to get exposure. When writing your listings, again, professionalism. It's the same way you would approach getting a listing. The proposals that you take a lot of time in, you reread over and over again, you spell check, you kind of use your basic formula and how you go approach potential prospects and how to get listings. You don't write in all caps. You proofread. Like, these are the same guidelines we want you to use while creating a listing. It really does make a difference. And it's also, in the same way, the professional profile, it has the same principles. It's a reflection of who you are in your business. All of you are individual 1099 contractors who are fighting tooth and nail to try and get listings, try and get things in contracts, trying to get deals across the line. So we want to make sure that happens. But in order for that to happen, we need to make sure that you guys are taking the time and the patience to write professional captions with the product that you are actually putting out into the internet. The other part of it is, we get a lot of customer feedback from the 3 million visits and searchers that come on to Biz Buy Sell. And the #1 complaint that we get is that brokers and agents don't return phone calls. We have multiple use cases of people who are looking to buy listings, who want to go learn more about information on a business, and they cannot get in touch with the listing agent. So please, if you're not doing so, like, create in your voicemail, like a 2-hour window where you'll return phone calls, or have like a set part of your day where you're returning all voicemails once you start putting listings onto Biz Buy Sell. So those are just general practices. Now, once we're in the product, you're going to get to a point where you need to create a new listing. It's pretty straightforward once you're logged in, But the two things we want to make sure that you take away from this slide is that you include both business types. So like the common example is that I like to use because it's very simple and I think everyone can relate to it is a restaurant with a bar component. And so the primary business might be a restaurant, but the secondary business type might be a bar or a pub or tavern, however you want to describe it. The power of a secondary business type is you're going to show up in both search results. So if someone's looking for a bar, you're going to come up in that search result. If someone's looking for a restaurant, you're going to come up in that search result. The confidentiality piece, which is the second highlighted box in red at the bottom, we want to make sure you include the state, county, and city. Kind of like what I talked about on a couple slides prior. That's how people search. If you don't include it, your listing will not come up in the search results. Again, less views, less clicks, all that translates to is less leads. So I understand the address component. We don't want to disclose things that the seller isn't comfortable with, but definitely include the city, county, and state just for visibility. Once you create a listing, you'll come to this page. It's in your dashboard. It's separated by your listings, and each listing will have its own action items. And in this case, it's called listing actions. And this is the place where you're going to come where you have complete control of your listing. So once you post a listing, there's maybe a misconception out there where it's like, I'm not ready to post it because there's certain pieces I'm not sure of, or I need to confirm something. You have control over your listing at any given point in time. So whether it's changing the title, changing the price, including updated financials, whatever information you have, please update that whenever you want. That's your listing and you have control over it. Among the listing actions we also have is the ability to add a photo. Really straightforward. It's right below edit listing. It says attach a photo. You can just search your computer for the photo that you have on file and upload it. We know that listings get more clicks when there is a photo. And with everyone, whether you have a cell phone, professional photographer, make sure you get photos up the moment you decide to push your listing live. Make sure that's part of the process. Again, professional writing as well as a photo will increase the chances of people clicking on your listing. These are the guidelines that we have in terms of just what type of photo does the best in terms of filling up the space requirement when it appears in the search results. We do have a team that actually goes over every single listing that comes onto the site. So like this is a picture of a taco shop. But what we want to make sure that we're very clear on, that this is not an opportunity to market yourself, your brokerage, or anything else besides the actual listing that you're creating. So we had a few people who thought that putting up a taco shop was also a place to put a big photo of themselves right in the middle. We don't allow that, and we'll take down those listings. That is a CoStar policy, and that's across CoStar, Apartments.com, LoopNet, Lands of America, all of our brands. We do not allow people to market themselves within their listing. So that's why we're doing it. That photo that you saw was a taco shop, and that's off of Pexels. So again, the relationship you have with sellers is different across the board. And in certain cases, you're going to find sellers that don't want their photo of their restaurant being advertised on the internet. That is totally understandable and it makes complete sense. If that's the case, go to pexels.com. You should all write this down. And you can type in, it's free, it's approved by BizBuySell, and whatever type of business you have, search for it, grab that photo and just plug it in. So this was a real listing, and this listing did not perform well on any level. And if you were in the shoes of a buyer searching for a business to invest in, would you make a phone call on this? So again, I know everyone has their own strategy, what they think is going to drive phone calls or how to hack the biz buy sell model of what a listing should look like or how to draw more attention. This doesn't work. The stats behind it will prove that, but there's no revenue. We don't really know what's going on here, except that there's a phone number and there's some sort of statement saying you get free rent. These listings do get looked over and we do pull these down. Avoid this at all costs. Do not let this happen. Versus, a listing with complete information. This will drive leads, and you can see on the left-hand column, the more complete the listing, the more leads that you'll end up getting at the end of the day. Okay, what are the tools? So it's not just advertising the listing on Biz Buy Sell, but it's also how do you quantify what's working and what's not working? We're in a kind of rare state of time, and there's a lot of unknowns as we kind of move forward. So baseline, if you're looking at your stats, which I'll describe a little in a second, is 2% is the click rate that you want to see, similar to the profile that Maddie was talking about. But under listing actions, you can go down to that drop menu, and in the red box, you'll see view stats. This is done on a weekly basis. And what you'll actually see is how many times your listing's been viewed, clicked on, and then the amount of leads that have actually been generated from this listing during that week. I encourage all the brokers that I engage with to use this on, whether it's a bi-weekly or bi-monthly, whatever your cadence is with your seller, show them these stats. There's a lot of great ways to just create transparency, trust, build that relationship to let them know, like, this is how your listing's performing on the internet. And it also gives you an opportunity to say, like, hey, if it's not performing where we think it should be, should we look at the price point? Does that give you leverage to saying, like, people aren't clicking on this because of maybe the expectations of the seller is too high, right? So there's a lot of things that you can use from it, but definitely check this on a weekly basis, print this out, have this in your constant cadence with your seller. With the leads that you do generate, we do track those for you, and we do create an inbox of the timestamp, the subject line that came in with the email for the leads that are being distributed to you from interest of your listings. I want to be very clear. This is not a CRM. We're not a CRM by any means, but this is just a way for you to track the leads that are coming from Biz Buy Sell. I know certain brokers do like to track the ROI on the marketing spend and the amount of leads that come from the services that they're paying for. So you do have the ability to export these leads and track that on a yearly basis, quarterly basis, and kind of see how is the spend of Biz Buy Sell and what's that return in terms of the amount of opportunity that I'm getting from it. Okay, so this is a search for listings. This is restaurants in San Francisco. And if I were just to scroll down, you'll see that at the very top, there's a larger photo. And as we get towards the middle and bottom, it goes to showcase as well as basic. So with your memberships, whether you're elite, premium, or basic, all listings naturally default to basic listings. And that's okay. They get exposure, but we understand that there's also listings that need more attention. And depending on certain circumstances, we want to bring those to the top. So again, think of how a marketplace works when you're searching for something. Typically, first 2 pages get the most clicks. Top of the search results just drives more interest. It's natural. It's a marketplace. That's what Biz Buy Sell is. So it's important just to be aware as you have more inventory of listings to understand that dynamic. Because every listing should be treated differently. And, if you have a basic listing, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you need more, this is kind of what we're just saying is, if you want to bring it towards the top of the search results after a few months, we have showcase options, we have diamond options. And in the photos on the right-hand side, you can see how the layout of those images look for a customer who's searching through businesses. Okay, and finally, the last thing I'd like to say is like when to do this. I think most people on this call will say, well, if I have a listing that's at a certain price point, yeah, that would make sense, and I completely agree. When you have more skin in the game, your investment on that is going to be a little bit higher. I would also take a look at where you are in terms of location. New York, LA. If you have a restaurant in one of those states or cities, you're dealing with a lot of inventory, and it's very easy to lose out on opportunity just based on competition, based on placement, and it is very competitive. That's not a sales pitch. That's just the reality of it. I would encourage you guys to run searches in those cities to see exactly what I'm talking about. But kind of take those things into consideration. The other thing is timeline. If you've had a listing for 6, 8, 9 months and it's coming up on the listing agreement, and you want to put one last surge into it to show like, hey, seller, this is what I did at the end, maybe that gives you some leverage to renew for another 3, 4, 12 months, whatever the circumstance might be. But take that all into consideration on when to do it. But it does work. I mean, it's pretty crazy in terms of just top placement, just the amount of clicks and leads that come from it. So if you're looking for that and you're really trying to get off to a strong Q1 and you want to pick up the pace, we all hear it's slow. Well, it's slow until it's not. And this is one of those tools that can help you. So, know that you have that in the back of your bag, and definitely reach out to Maddie if you have any questions regarding upgrading any of your listings.
Perfect. Thanks, Jason. And we had a question come in. I believe it was answered, but Michael asked how many photos are on each listing type. So for a basic ad, just to reiterate, basic ads, you have 1 photo you can add on there. If you use an upgrade credit like the Showcase Plus email, that would include 6 photos, 2 attachments, and a video you can add on. If you upgrade into the diamond level listing, that's our top listing plan, you'd have unlimited photos you can add on there. So pay is to use those credits that you receive every month, as a premium or elite member. You can throw those on your listings and take advantage of the additional photos. Okay, great. So I'm just going to wrap up here. Okay. So key takeaways and just action items for you. Membership first, profile first. So consider membership upgrades for your profile and for your listings. If you do have, like Jason said, a timeline issue, you need to get something sold quickly, or it's been on market for too long, consider upgrading a listing, or consider upgrading your membership, which then would include those listing upgrade credits that you receive every month. But take a look at the marketing tools tab in your account. It is just information. So it'll go over each of the products that we're discussing today in more depth, and you can figure out what works best for you. Skip over a couple of those. I just included a lot. We're here to help, and I have my contact info on the next slide, but I'd be more than happy to schedule a meeting with you all, or if anyone's interested, we can go over your account and just find more ways for you to be successful. So here is my email address, mlynn@bizbuysell.com. Feel free to shoot me an email. We can set up a Zoom call or give us a call at our customer support line if you have any kind of technical questions, 888-777-9892. All right, thank you again, the 13 of you that showed up today. Really do appreciate you coming out and listening to us. So have a great rest of the day and great rest of the week. Take care.